Hi, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I have some messages for you today. I wanted to get them out before the day was over because they are important messages coming up to Lionsgate. And I'll pull some oracle cards for you today as well. It is the 5th of August, 2018. And just a couple random messages that I got from after my read yesterday were yesterday's 16 candles came up. And tests of perseverance to heal thyself. Also, love me tender, love me true. All came up yesterday. Oh, also, when I went out for my run yesterday, as I got to, and it was right in, the address was 29 Dewey, which was funny. But right as I got to that house, there was a flock of birds just kind of circling around that one spot right before I got there, and then as I got there they were circling around me, and as soon as I passed they dispersed. And I'd seen birds circling around someone's head in the card that morning, so I was, and it's not the first thing I've noticed that I'm looking at it and I'm manifesting it, and it's like things I do, I'm seeing in my cards after that the divine masculines are remote viewing the divine feminines, seeing what you just did, and this is coming up in my reads after the fact, so it's really interesting and cool and weird at the same time. Also yesterday, I Can't Shut Her Up came up as well. So 16 candles, love me tender, love me true, and Can't Shut Her Up, and heal thyself, basically. Okay, so then also last night I watched the movie The Do-Over, which is the theme of what's coming up now. We're redoing things. We are letting go of the past relationships and starting fresh. So this is with family, friends, your twin, all your relationships. Speaking your truth, okay? The do-over. And in the do-over, they fake their death so they can have a fresh start. And that was one of the things I was guided to write down. It was Adam Sandler, if you're interested in watching the movie. Also, he was looking for clamps, and that had come up in my read yesterday, so that was so funny. Yeah, he wanted to get clamps to hold someone down who wasn't guilty. So seeing things the wrong way, not having the right information, making things up in your mind, the stories that we tell ourselves when we don't know. And then also last night I saw a lion. I was sitting down, and all of a sudden I was just guided to go outside. I'm like, okay, well maybe there'll be something special, a message or a rainbow or something for me to see. So I just went outside and I just laid in the grass and took a few pictures, and I got a picture of the cloud. It was like, I don't know if you can see it so well in this, if it'll clear, but it's the clouds, and it's like the lion's head, and it was much more clear to me when I was seeing it, but I mean, you get the idea. But the lion's head, literally, with the mane and everything, came up in the clouds. So, yeah, that was pretty much it for yesterday, but it was really cool because I literally was guided, like, get up and go outside. So I just went up and went outside, and I got that picture of the Lion's Gate. There's some other cool pictures I was able to get too, but that was the significant one. And it's all about the lion energy. You know, the King of Wands has been coming up all week, reversed, that energy, and then some more significant stuff comes up in my read from today. So before I even put, well, maybe right after the cards were coming down, or as they were coming down, I was getting horse with no name, and then I wrote no face, no name, because that was part of my song that I just wrote. But when I went to write name, I was corrected to mane, no face, no mane. So your adornment, the lion's mane, and also extending a false hand. Okay. So, and this will have to do with the unfolding of what came out in this message today. I also got the regrouping of 9. The regrouping of 9. So it's again, it's all related to breaking down the old relationships, letting them go, and rebuilding, in a very positive way, with new energy and compassion. Being able to see each other in a different light. So, number 18 also came up, which was the moon. So we're very much in the eclipse moons. And so in my coding this morning, I was getting some different interpretations, but all about justice and compassion. I was getting street justice coming up, and tithing, and support, and about yourself. And when people are coming up like that, trying to get street justice, because it's all about the self, viewing the self, for the twins, we're being called to show compassion. Then I literally was getting street justice to the if, so use compassion. Then I was also getting saints. Truth and balance. Support to the if, or compassion. Okay? So whenever these issues, and it came up today for me when I went to visit my mother in the Alzheimer's facility, and her aide, who we've known for a long time now, and I take my cards with me usually, because all of the aides like it when I do their cards, and it's really helped a lot of them just see themselves from a different perspective. So I'm very grateful for that experience. My mother doesn't like this stuff at all, so she's always mad at me and just shaking her head or mad, or and I'm learning not to allow her to do that to me, because she always controlled me that way. So it's about redoing your relationships with your immediate family and also friends, but we're talking about childhood friends, people that you've known a long, long time, and your family, who you're naturally compassionate with, who you're naturally tend to be unconditionally loving because they're your family. So the King of Wands came up again, the Leo energy, and I was getting a Leo. It's coming up as the Leo King of Wands, but today I was getting a Queen of Wands who was coming off as a masculine. So very masculine, feminine, fire energy. Okay? And then I also got the Strength card coming up under guidance. But the Strength card in this deck is all about fires, and it's a tiger. So it's all about transmuting those, the conflict that's coming up under, it's boiling beneath the surface. And then all of a sudden I got Streetcar Named Desire, and it's all about a streetcar named Desire. And also the name Desiree came up. And then I was called to look at what are your desires. What are your lower chakra feelings, your passions? And the inability to get comfortable within yourself. What are your passions that you're not releasing? And then also Lenny Kravitz came up, and I'm not positive of the connection there, but I know that he's been supporting domestic abuse and some things like that, and talks about being addicted to pot and that kind of thing. So if that syncs with you, let me know. But but Streetcar Named Desire, which is so funny that came up, because in my 20s, a long, long time ago, I took an acting class at the high school, one of the adult school classes, and I actually did a solo. I think it was a part from Blanche, from her script, that I had to do in my acting class. When she had become, she was drinking, she was an alcoholic, and where she was just losing it. I think it was from that, and Spirits Connecting. But it's so funny this came up now because I actually performed Blanche. So actually, it got the Pulitzer Prize for Pulitzer Prize. Maybe it's supposed to be a surprise for drama in 1948, and the play actually got that. So this is from the play from the the movie is 1951, and it's a Tennessee Williams play, and I was born in Tennessee, so that was another sync for me. And it's about a school teacher, Blanche Dubois. Okay, so we're bringing in French. She's Dubois, and she's a school teacher, which is has been coming up for me recently, and it'll take you back to, you know, your teenage years, school teachers. And actually, that just made me think of my French teacher from junior high school. So, in the movie, she leaves small town Mississippi to go live with her sister Stella, who is Kowalski. All right, so she married a Polish guy who was very working class, and they come from a more upper class background. But Blanche has, you know, she's drinking and she lost the house, and so she's going to live with her sister. And then one of the things when I looked up The Streetcar Named Desire that came up was a line from the movie. I guess someone who was talking to her says, "Take streetcar named Desire, and then transfer to one called Cemetery." And Cemetery came up in one of my reads yesterday. I literally was seeing the cemetery. And then it says to ride 6 blocks, so 6 blocks, right, that you need to remove, and then get off at Elysian Fields. And I wasn't familiar with Elysian Fields, so I looked that up as well. So apply this to your own life, but this is going back to the family dynamics, okay? You have 2 sisters. One is in a marriage of passion, right? They're so physically into each other, and yet he's very abusive also. But she puts up with that because she's so passionate about him. Whereas the other sister lost her husband. He committed suicide because I guess she teased him about, when he came out, about his homosexuality. So he killed himself, so now she had all these issues growing up in her adult life. And then becomes an alcoholic and sleeps with multiple partners. And so these are her issues. So you see the 2 different dynamics, but it's all stemming from their own wounds. So, and they talk about, literally in the description of Stella and Stanley's magnetism. But he beats her and he ends up raping her sister. And then her sister gets sent off to a loony bin because they don't believe her that he raped her because she's an alcoholic. So it's about going back to your own family abuse history, abuses that you went through together, and getting what's the real story, what was the truth, what really happened, and what are your wounds that you need to clear from that. And it came up too that Blanche was dating a friend of her brother-in-law, and as soon as he found out that she had been with multiple partners, he treated her like trash. But he still wanted to sleep with her. But he was basically, you're not fit to eat with my mother, but yet he still wanted to have sex with her. So these are the perceptions that people have or have had in the past that we've carried forward in our lineage that we need to clear. So she gets taken away to the insane asylum. And it's funny because as soon as I saw Elysian Fields, I saw asylum when I saw Elysian. And Elysian is it's like the final resting place of the heroic and virtuous in Greek mythology and religion. So it's the final resting place of those who were seen as heroic. And then when I saw the pictures of the parks considered to be Elysian Fields, they all looked like the fields from The Sound of Music, which I just brought up. The hills are alive, right? With The Sound of Music. So I'm tying together now. They're telling me the sound of music is tying together the harmony, to bring the family into harmony. And I looked up, when I also saw Elysian Fields, I right away saw a beautiful development of homes right near where my daughter just moved to. And it's right at Union City, so I thought you'd like that. There's also a store of Elysian Fields in Sarasota, Florida, and I was guided to put out Sarasota, Florida, as well as in Seattle, Washington. There's a pub there, and that was 542 First Avenue. Oh, and this, what got me about this Georgia complex that's being built of homes, and it's called Elysian Fields, but the address is 444 Lees Lake Road in Georgia. And they're actually really beautiful homes, like they were huge 5-bedroom homes that were very affordable. So maybe there's some harmony there. So it was very intense because Streetcar Named Desire, there's a lot of very deep, dark energies in that movie or that play, whatever you saw. And you could just feel it coming up, just thinking about what they went through and what it's trying to bring up for us from our lineage and the truth of our families, and bringing it all out into the open. Things that have been hidden are going to be coming out. You'll be put into karmic situations with your families and friends that maybe you've known for a long time and you've been really close with, but you may have had falling out with them, or just didn't resonate with them anymore, so you didn't see each other for a long time. But things like that will be coming back in for review again to see if you can make harmony. But like I said yesterday, the father and son dynamic, you'll either make peace or you'll part ways. And there will be some deaths as well. So the energy coming up from the read this morning. Oh, and I can't forget the sand, because the sand was important this morning too. So some of the, what I was seeing in the sand art, and this was in the early morning hours after midnight last night, I saw like a party where the kids were trying to get into the punch bowl. It was like, a buffet table set up, and so there was adults at the food table, at the punch bowls, and these little kids like trying to dive into the punch bowls. And then I was seeing it becomes all of a sudden the people at the table who are waiting at the table to get food and things, all of a sudden that becomes a what's the word, like just a backdrop. They don't become real anymore. All of a sudden they're just mountains in the scenery, right, in the background. They're not real anymore. It's just like it's a performance. And then all of a sudden I see like literally I'm seeing, and I know this is weird, but it's the energy. I'm like literally I see a bone. It's standing straight up, so obviously you know where that's going. But then there's a white energy right below it, showing the connection between the penis and the sexual energy connected to between the divine masculine and divine feminine. And I mean the picture is very literal. It's like, and it's funny because my tree this is just funny. My tree out front, there was one time we were growing up and my mother was having a temper tantrum and she was in her gown, and my dad had to basically pin her down on the ground, and all his kids were around, hoping that she doesn't take it out on us when she gets up. And her feet went up in the air, and just the way you know, the legs are when you're lying back like that. The tree out front, my tree is just like, it makes me think of my mother when she was on the floor that day. So it was literally like the sand art showing me this angle. It was being very literal, so I would get the message very clearly. But then I see so it's connecting the sexual energy of the divine masculine to the divine feminine, but then also showing a teddy bear. And then I see it's like the bone or the penis, whatever it was showing, becomes a heart. So it's like showing it pulling the energy up to the heart chakra as opposed to the sacral chakra where it used to be. It's showing that sexual energy being recycled up to the heart space. I mean, literally, I don't know if you can see it all. And then like the angels going, like, you have to see this. Okay, so you have this face over here. I don't know if you can see my, all right, so the face over here is like the angels going, and then as in the middle, you see the energy here. So it's like, you know, the legs spread like someone's birthing, and then the heart above it. So what used to be that bone now turns into a heart, and there's also a teddy bear on the side. So then it gets into these children who were in this punch bowl. You now see them, it's like a landscape of the three bears. Like the mama bear, the papa bear, and the baby bear, only I was getting like a papa bear and two baby bears. So there's, anyway, you just see legs and arms everywhere in bed, like cuddling together, but there's a teddy bear. And this heart is still forming, so this sexual energy is still being pulled up to the heart. So it's like the divine masculine is learning to do that as well, recycle their sexual energy. And then at the end, it's so cute because it's like there's a dog there too, all cuddled up with the kids and the parent. It's just, it was really cute. So let me know what you're getting from that. And then I was getting, and it was reiterating like the energies from two different homes. Like, you know how the divine masculine's cave, the bat cave, came up yesterday. It was like that was coming up, but then another smaller home of the divine feminine, you know, to show it's the feminine as opposed to the masculine's home. So it was kind of showing the energy shared between the divine masculine and divine feminine. So the truth is coming out, all right, with all of these eclipses. Eclipses always force change, and we're in Leo and these intense energies. We're in the fourth dimension of all this chaos and murkiness coming out to be exposed. The truth is taking others down with manipulation and abuse of power by those in roles of guiding others. So those in the past who have been in these roles of responsibility, of great responsibility, guiding others, have been manipulating and abusing their power. But there's been fires burning under facades of other people as well, not dealing with this, or not, there's anger and desire, obviously streetcar named desire, coming up underneath the surface with many people. The facade of peaceful marriages and contracts. The guides, basically, it's a throwdown. The throwdown thing just came up, but it was, I was seeing the throwdown of crosses onto the ground, like the crosses everyone's been bearing, to let go of those burdens, throw them down on the ground, cry if needed, and then choose a path. Don't live a lie. The divine feminine is seen like looking out their window by others, and also is getting, again, the divine masculines may be remote viewing their divine feminines. Because I'm getting, after the fact, in my read, that my divine masculine is seeing what I was just doing. Like at the trees, like when I was out at the trees looking at the branches, and my blueberries out front, and dancing around in the front yard when I saw the lion cloud. Nobody knew I was out there. I didn't even know I was going to go out there, but then I'm seeing it in the cards. So again, the divine masculines may be remote viewing the divine feminine, learning these skills. And the divine feminine feeling him next to her, holding hands with her, okay, even when they're going to sleep at night. And to keep an open mind, trust, okay? So trust your own instincts, your own knowing, that you know what you're feeling, you know the energy that's there. Working with yourself and with your guides, coming out of isolation. I'm trying to see understand what I wrote. It's like, it was showing me like a streetcar again, but everything was on an angle, lining things up at an angle. And I was getting feng shui, right? Because if they're on an angle, they're not in perfect alignment. But this angle is also kind of showing me the same as the jet stream, you know, when you're going along on the regular path and all of a sudden you just change the alignment just a little bit and then you get taken off into the jet stream. So this is coming up again. But lining things up at an angle, feng shuiing your homes, I was getting that the support system for the Divine Feminine is off at the eclipses, not in alignment. So make sure you have a good support system. Over isolating, avoiding God's messages or your higher self messages about passion and transmuting fires controlled by desires, okay? So the tower was coming up. And then I was getting domestic abuse coming up. The punching ball, you know those old rubber balls you can hold them and then punch them like this as you're holding them? A punching bag. So I was getting domestic abuse is out. So you're going to be hearing a lot of this coming out that was very hidden. And some sadness about the 5D connection. And the inner connection, I was getting again that pi is the union within self. In order to have that 5D connection. I don't know what the pi thing is about that, but I'm relating it over and over again. And I was also seeing a block around the Divine Masculine, the left side of their head, and it was interesting in my other read that I do for myself this morning. I was getting off to the left. That things are a little off to the left. So the Divine Feminine side. But again, I was seeing over the Divine Masculine's head, the left side was being blocked. So the Divine Masculine may need to clear, or if you're a Divine Feminine, something you can blow through your cord and up and blow out the crown and clear out around some violet energy with some gold maybe and white to purify and to transmute. I was getting weird. 1 death is behind the Divine Feminine and 2 deaths are behind the Divine Masculine. So I don't know if there's something, if it's saying that this Divine Feminine has to experience 1 more death behind them. And so, and that could be the situation, but please take it in however it fits into your situation. Again, I was saying 1 death is behind the Divine Feminine and 2 deaths are behind the Divine Masculine. So I know for me personally, you know, my father passed a couple years ago during the journey, and my mother's in an Alzheimer's facility, so we never know what's going to happen with that. So I was getting to come together in joy, celebrate with friends and family, but use your intuition. Stay connected to your higher self. Wounded from both sides. I was getting the Divine Feminine feeling pinned to the ceiling, and I went to write roof of the mouth, and I was getting, and I instead what wrote down was rook of the mouth or the month. Rook of the month, rook of the mouth, rook. But I was saying roof of the mouth, and rook came up. So. And I know I brought up rook before, to stay in your own lane, because the rook never moves out of their lane. And maybe that has to do with staying in your intuition when you're with family and friends now, making sure you take the high road. maybe feeling pinned, you know, like between a rock and a hard place. Always stand in your truth and your authenticity, but don't feed into any drama, and dismiss yourself if you need to, okay? I'm getting that one sharp word traps them from below as 5 attack from above. So when they're feeling that stress of being attacked, and we're just feeling the stress anyway, even if we're not being attacked, you're feeling it from the download energy. You're feeling like stressed, like you're being attacked. So know that it's just the energies, and to rise above the energies. So when you're feeling that stress-like energy, it only takes one negative word, right, to make you blow. But know that this attacked feeling is coming from the energies being downloaded, to not feed into it. And also, and this was all around the wounded warrior. And that in the wounded warrior's mind, final judgment is death. And that was coming up yesterday, the day before, in, you know, fight to the death. You don't give up, ever. Yeah, fight to the death. Also, I was getting in this same thing. The Olympic torch, is out. The Olympic torch has gone out. Longest running fight or competition in history. So this could have to do with relationships, business relationship, partnerships, marriages. Like, it's like this, you know, what people thought would last forever has burned out. Longest running fight or competition in history. So what people thought was like this nice, beautiful relationship or connection, whether it's business or personal, comes out as like the longest running fight in history. Like, it's been one big fight, but, you know, it was like fight to the death, because once you commit, you don't leave. So I was getting that the Queen of Wands torch is out, and the Queen of Wands was coming up as the King of Wands, you know, in their masculine energy. No more need to fight for the karmic's attention. So, and this goes with the movie that I saw last night. The Redo. Was that what it was called? The Do-Over. In the Do-Over, one of the guys was still chasing his wife. You know, she didn't care about him. She was just all about him doing whatever she told him to do, right? This is exactly the dynamic that I was getting. Exactly from the movie last night. You know, he was just, he wasn't confident in himself, so he kept trying to chase the person he's married to get her to stay with him, to always want to be with him. And then she wins a trip, and what does she do? She takes her girlfriend. She doesn't take him. This was clarifying what's going on right now in the energy. These marriages built like that are now going to disintegrate, because these divine masculines are going to find that they are worthy of love, of real love, not of having to chase someone who doesn't love them to feel worthy. They are worthy no matter what. And also, I was getting no more need to fight for karmic's attention. Basically, the divine masculine is now released from karma, released from these marriages, released from these karmic contracts. And this is what the right knee block is about. The high priestess, or the secret offer of love, was turned away. This, and I was being told that this was a soul contract to end karma for the divine feminine and divine masculine. And this is coming from the Sphinx, which has to do with Atlantis. So the relationships that began from Atlantis between the divine masculine and divine feminine, involving these karmics, all right, so the spouses, and there was energies of, you know, betrayal from Atlantis. Now that karma being finally paid back in these contracts ending. So transmuting Atlantean timelines. Recently, the divine feminine's been working on new perspectives about secrets, about loves and friends not seeing eye to eye. And desire comes up in the foundation. So it's important for you to look at your own desires, as well as the people in your environment. desire for attention, desire for success, desire for good news, and even desire for pain, to feel alive. You know, for those people who have been really bored in their long relationships, they want to feel pain because they want to feel alive again instead of being in their truth. Unable to come together due to immature thoughts and words. To transmute the pain and end the pain. Creations and communications will come together. Desire can lead to pain, causing mediocrity and harsh, immature words, and talking about others. So when you're working in groups, I was getting specifically, when you're working in groups at work and groups with friends, it was about, let's just say for an example, you have 3 friends. It's about 2 friends talking about the other friend. And I was getting the same dynamic at workplaces. So this is this immature words and talking about others you work with or groups of friends within your own circle. And then I was getting dissension amongst the ranks. So the center issue was that King of Wands, but coming up as the Queen of Wands, but in this masculine energy. Actually feeling sad for having caused, I was getting spending money, like feeling bad for causing the fall, actually, of the King of Pentacles. So for having spent money that they didn't have. And this could be a King of Wands energy too, but I was getting more strongly that this was the Queen of Wands acting like the King of Wands in the masculine energy. That the Divine Masculine had been trying to see their karmic, trying to get their karmic to really see them, to see who they were, to love them. But the karmic was only focused on everything but him. She just liked the look of them together. That she could be sexy and get all the attention, while he just works for her, not knowing he was hiding another love. Okay? So the challenge being that justice has no face. By rising above and healing, forgiving, and going through these pain cycles of impatience and lies in the split or divide, okay, which a lot of the Divine Feminines have already gone through this. And then I was talking about cells yesterday, so it was right at that moment came up that cells naturally split for growth. So I was showing that these splits are happening because they've outgrown each other. It's now time for the contract to end and them to go on to other connections, right, for new growth. So I was getting that this King of, it could be the King of Wands or the Queen of Wands, someone is taking a leap of faith to their desires with the energy next to them, not the person, but the energy next to them that's been blocked by the Emperor or by some person in control. The Divine Feminine is so exposed now and bright, coming out with a plan to find a nice way to get out of something without telling the whole truth. With a lover, with a child, or a friend that they know could lead to a passionate exchange or judgment. Okay, so it's a call to the Divine Feminine to remember to stay in your whole truth. You know, don't try to fudge things to get out of things nicely. You know, tell your whole truth. You can't control how other people are going to react. Just allow them to react the way they're going to react. Don't feed into the drama of it. If you need to walk away, walk away. But again, this was coming up with many different situations, with a lover, a child, or a friend, that the Divine Feminine may be worried about, you know, might be explosive. So trying to avoid that. And also, again, friends and lovers who thrive on being sexy to get attention was coming up. And this is very much the Queen of Wands energy. Are they being authentic to who they are? Is that all they are? Is just some sex pot, right? Or is that just a cover? Because that's all they thought others wanted to see from them. So the passion of the King of Wands or the Queen of Wands, depending on the situation, is exposed. And what have I done? So people who have judged harshly are now going to come back saying, what have I done? So, you know, just being aware of your judgments and your emotions. Even through me writing music, you know, I'm expressing my own feelings, so others may feel that or interpret it as being directed toward them, that kind of thing, and may get hurt from that. But you can't control the way other people receive your feelings. You can only express yourself authentically. That's your purpose. You need to express your desires, your need for satisfaction, your creative growth. And it was coming up, having two legs to stand on, staying present. So in desire, the masculine feminines are exposed, which leads to stress, which leads to judgment, right? Being exposed can be very stressful, which leads, because you worry about being judged. And this karmic abuse that's coming up. Females who stay with the divine masculine for stability while they do whatever they want with their free time, causing desires outside the marriage, satisfied being alone with everything they want, or having sexual liaisons on the side. Also, the divine masculine can be seen, it doesn't have to be the divine masculine, it's an emperor energy, but also the divine masculine, seeing an Aquarius, specifically, was coming up, as constantly rejecting them, so they go to the 5D for comfort. So soon the truth comes out, giving to the poor, causing unstable home life, and ending up guarded and feeling like a fool. So someone's being taken, you know, they're giving to someone who they think may be in a difficult situation, but really being played for as a fool. Or paying out in order to move without fighting, because they just don't have any fight left and have no faith. So you have to look at yourself and say, are you in control? Are you trying to control? Are you trying to control others? Are you happy? Are you being childlike? Are you exposing yourself fully? But is the divine feminine holding back their passions? They're holding back their passions of that dark energy, to see it, to try to learn a new perspective on that energy without using hands, I was being shown, you know. So pulling your sexual energy up to your heart chakra, to your throat chakra, to your crown and your third eye chakras. And again, talking about clearing the crowns of both of you through your cord. Letting go of the ego. The emperor has insecurities. The divine masculine, like I said, their left crown was being blocked. Left. Passion came up again. Let friends help you. It is safe to love. And chemistry. So around the divine feminine was coming up the Page of Wands energy. So that's even like a message of a date, or some kind of passionate message. It's also tribal flame, twin flame. Also Leo energy, as arrogant or just satisfied, traveling to peace, or strong satisfaction in peace, and basically saying screw justice. All right, so do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Right, you go for the happy. So some of the signs that were just coming up in these energies was Taurus, Aries, Capricorn, Pisces, Leo, and Gemini as being most significant. And just in general, fire and air signs, okay? So, you know, obviously air is going to feed into the fire and make it bigger. So there's like big wars that break out between air and fire signs. So I was getting that Aries or Leo energy of the fire signs moving for peace, and it could be from a Libra, or just the justice or injustice energies, someone moving to find peace. Avoiding friends and judgment or drama, clearing blocks, of Lovers judged by the masses. And then Jesus and Mary came up. And justly, judged by a fight to the death. Ascension. Following your guides to spirituality in order to ascend. Okay, but it was bringing up that example of Jesus and Mary. Look at all the drama around their relationship and the fight to the death of ascension. So it's getting the justice energy. Could be the justice is inspired, or even just that Libra energy, excited for a date after a divorce was coming up. Also truth and balance. I was getting that, I was being shown the magician, that there's an Aquarius that was cut, and the right arm of the magician that holds the wand, that arm was being cut off by an Aquarius, whereas a Queen of Pentacles energy, or an earth or a grounded energy, was actually comforting him. The 5D love comforts him, but the Aquarius was cutting his right arm off. The Aquarian rejection propelling the Divine Masculine to a third party where he can perform his daily duties, but also can perform sexually. The Divine Masculine flies the coop, dumping Karmic's mothers. Or maybe I was getting a situation where possibly the Divine Masculine has to care for their Karmic and their mother. And I was getting them dumping that, like putting that burden back on the Karmic. That's not their burden. And it could be also the other way around, the Karmic dumping the responsibility of the Divine Masculine and his mother back on him. So someone's taking off and dumping the burdens on the other. And also I was getting, it could be that the Divine Masculine thinks like that if the Divine Feminine has a sick elderly relative, the Divine Masculine's scared of that relationship because they don't want to be responsible for that financially. So they could be thinking the wrong thing about the Divine Feminine, about what they expect from them, because this is what their Karmic has always expected from them, right? So, and it was perfect because then I ended up going, my sister texted me to go up to see my mom today, which I wasn't planning on doing, but I did. And that's exactly that situation where she's in an Alzheimer's facility, but she's well cared for. They had great long-term care insurance, fortunately, so she's taken care of. And but when we went to visit, lots of stuff came up with wounds and what needs to be cleared and people needing to stand in their truth. So just in our conversation with my sister and the aide who takes care of my mom, and my mother was in a very pissy mood today, and she's very Queen of Wands. So she was not in a nice mood today. I think she was having a tough time with rashes. And so there may be, and realize that some people may be getting rashes. It's ascension symptoms. Of course, get it checked out if you need to, but that's a purge. So there may be some rashes coming out, especially in this Leo heat, right? So people are being exposed and dumping responsibilities back on the people whose responsibilities they actually are. And also maybe holding back announcements. So also Divine Masculines may be holding back an announcement if they've already split up or already divorced or whatever, or broke a business relationship because of fear, because they still don't know enough about the Divine Feminine. They're worried about the financial aspects of that. Dumping burdens back on a mother or Karmic. That he owes his right arm or his powers, his psychic abilities to that Queen of Pentacles. That the Empress reverse, so it could be a mother or a Karmic energy, had cut off their powers, dumping all their burdens on him. So marriage, literally in summary, marriage contracts are on fire. There's a lot of fire to transmute between the Emperor and the Page of Wands energy too, so that's father and son. Like it came up already yesterday or the day before. Trying to see new perspectives. The King of Wands, who can also be the Queen of Wands, and her male energy, her masculine energy, seeking justice. Divorce or justice was coming up. The truth of lovers exposed. to or by this King of Swords walking away. So it could be the Divine Masculine or the Karmic walking away. So depending on the situation, is exposed to or by the King of Swords, which would be the Divine Masculine walking away. Okay, so that was all the energies I got. A lot, but very heavy. But yeah, definitely those lion energies. It was really cool that I saw the cloud yesterday for Lionsgate. So Lionsgate's coming up 8/8, and then we have the eclipse on the 11th. So let's see what we have as far as the oracle cards. So from the Ascension deck for the organic Divine Masculine and Feminines. For the organic Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine twins. What is the advice? What is the advice? Okay, we have these two both came up. Kuan Yin is at the bottom, 43. Okay, and the affirmation for that, and by the way, 43 is the Three of Cups. The affirmation is, I act from my divine feminine wisdom. And she's very representative of child wounds and working with that child energy. Archangel Metatron's cloak came up. It's number 51, which is the King of Swords, which was the outcome or the solution of this read this morning. 51 again is the King of Swords. It's a 6, which is of love, family, and community, but the 51 is the masculine energy, very focused on the inside, and then the 5 on the outside, so being very exciting, salesman type personality on the outside, achieving this 6 of love, family, and community. It's an honor to receive this card, for the cloak allows Metatron's energy to be held in your aura. It ensures that your 12 chakras are open and protects you from lower energies. This means that you can link to the 7th dimension of Hollow Earth, which 7th dimension came up yesterday, and access wisdom from the 4 ascension planets. Walk tall and stand in your power. Wearing this cloak will help you guide others on their ascension path. You're called on to do this. Empower people to see who they are and what they can do. And that's just what I ended up doing today, was helping people to see their power and to stand in their truth. You can't make anyone do anything, but you can bring it to their attention. And the affirmation is, I stand in my power and lead others forward. And that's Metatron. And Metatron's been coming up over and over again as leading the Divine Masculines, whereas Archangel Michael has been leading the Feminines. The Gold and Silver Violet Flame also came up, which is number 4. The Gold and Silver Violet Flame. We were just talking about using it to transmute, right? So Archangel Zadkiel and Saint Germain are keepers of the violet flame of transmutation. When you add the gold of wisdom and the silver grace and harmony, you create the powerful gold and silver violet flame. Which is interesting because my mother's middle name is Grace, and we were just talking about harmony. So if you mix the gold of wisdom and the silver of grace and harmony to the violet flame of transmutation, you create the powerful gold and silver violet flame. The angels suggest you invoke this mighty energy to clear the ascension path ahead of you and keep your light pure and clear. When you send the gold and silver violet flame to people, situations, and places, you facilitate wondrous transformations. This powerful light transmutes the old and raises everything to a high frequency. So don't be afraid to use it. The affirmation is, I am the gold and silver violet flame, okay? So the twins, literally, their energy, you just have to be there and you're transmuting energy. So it's reminding you of that. Just when you walk down the street, you're transmuting energy. You are the violet flame. This is from the Past Life deck. Okay, this is the Past Life deck. And what is the advice for the organic Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine twin flames? What is the advice? We have lessons and blessings. Okay, and I'll show it to you again in a minute. And also coming out as mother. Perfect. And on the bottom, spouse. Okay, so it kind of brings everything together about what we were talking about today. Okay, so that's the underlying energy, is the spouse energy. And then we got the lessons and blessings, right? Because karma's ending. Tick, tick, tick. Okay, the old-fashioned pocket watch is no longer needed. You know, we're out of linear time. We're out of karma. The Divine Masculine's wrapping up his karma in all of their lessons and blessings. Contracts are ending, and also mother issues are being dealt with. Okay. So this showing the mother and the two kids could have been like the parent and the kids I saw as the three bears in the bed with the dog. The dog was so cute. It was huddled up like this. I can show you the picture of that. Maybe I will. Let's see if I can. Might be hard for you to see. Yeah, I don't know if you're going to see it. Actually, now that I look at it, I can see the dog's face from two different ways. So I don't know what angle you're going to see it in. But this is one of the pictures. But you can see... it's where the blue is. Where the blue is, I don't know if you can see it right here. Yeah, it's not coming up very clearly. But right where that blue is, right above it, there's a next to it, more central, but you can't, I don't know if you can get it really clearly. Yeah, I don't know if you can really see it very clearly, but there's a definite dog face, and there's one of the blue spots is one of his ears sticking up. Like it's a little dog with, not a tiny dog, but a somewhat small dog with little pointy ears. That might relate to someone specifically. Okay, so this is for the journey of love. Journey of love. Okay, journey of love. And the advice for the take a deep breath. The advice for the organic divine masculine, divine feminine, twin flames, please. What is the advice? We have 3 to 1. Okay. Called 3 to 1. It looks like you're in the vortex in that picture, doesn't it? Standing right in the middle of the vortex. Number 10, the Wheel of Fortune. The bottom of the deck is Angel of Jupiter Awaken. Okay. That's the bottom. And that's number 6 of love. So we have love and 10, the Wheel of Fortune. Really beautiful. I'm going to read you number 10, which is 3 to 1, and I'm going to show you that picture one more time. It literally looks like they're standing in the middle of the vortex. Like ready to roll. Number 10. Okay, 3 to 1. There's a heavenly child in your midst. It may be within your heart, in your womb, or a glimmer in your eye soon to be. This child holds the key to the fulfillment of a process that is happening for you now. The child might be a physical culmination of your marriage or commitment to another. It might be a symbolic birthing of a new self after a time of learning, or bring male energies of protection and discernment together with female energies of feeling and creativity, whether within yourself or in your relationship with another. Okay, so we're bringing up, bringing out masculine energies and culminations of relationships. The child might symbolically be a new life, an improved relationship, a book, a new job, a completely renewed way of dealing with what was once a challenging issue, and so will not be an issue for you anymore. Just to name some examples. From masculine to feminine to child, there is now just one new reality dawning with grace. And here we have grace again. The oracle holds a message for you. New life is upon you now. You're being reborn, and you will give birth, so we're getting rebirth here, to what is meant for you in this lifetime. There's no need to worry. Just pray with an open heart that you may be supported to fulfill your destiny. You already are, of course, but prayer can help you realize it. The rest is in the loving and capable hands of the divine. And then the poem reads, love is what makes the heart beat faster. The lump in my throat, which I've been feeling, a lot of that, the stress energies coming into the heart and up to the throat. Love is what makes the heart beat faster. The lump in my throat, the feeling of missing you so much that I can't wait to be with you again. And then we are, and I look into your eyes deeper, and I know the unspoken words that say I love you, and feel words in return. I'm getting connection. How short each lifetime seems, but what I feel with you lasts forever. May love be the compass that guides you on the course of a lifetime. And that pocket watch can be referenced as a compass as well. So you see how everything is coming together. So some really, really beautiful union energies here. So just be in your knowing, be good to yourself, work out family, friend issues that you need to deal with. Just don't feed into the drama. Have faith in yourself and be patient. Drink your water, exercise, and rest as much as you can. Be healthy and be good to yourself. Rise and be loved, guys. I love you guys.